Joker's Asylum 2, Killer Croc, one shot from DC. Very, very good story. Didn't really know what to expect from reading this. I read the other Joker's Asylums and they were pretty good. I didn't read the first series, just Joker Asylum, but I started on part 2, and the stories so far have been really good. The artwork on the covers is really good just by looking at the cover of this one, just by looking at Killer Croc. And right here on this one, he doesn't even look like any type of crocodile that you would ever see. He's like a mix between some type of reptile and a human, but you really can't tell what type because of the tongue. And then we have the overlapping teeth on the top row and just sharp fangs all over the place. So that was really interesting. But then when I went ahead and dived into the book and actually started reading it, then it got even more interesting by each page that was turned. Like I said, the artwork was very, very good. I like the way that they did Croc on here, with the shadowing. Everything made him very, very dark. Didn't make him all light and all animated and everything like they would do on the television series, because this is not a television series, of course. It's a comic book, and they have to put a little bit more realism into it. So why not go ahead and make him look like a real quote-unquote crocodile or alligator would look in real life. And you can see as of right there the detail that they put into him when they were drawing him for the story. The story consists of Joker, of course, telling stories about these criminals. This one just happens to involve, as of course, you know, Killer Croc. Joker named this story Beauty and the Beasts because he's just that type of person. It does involve a female, of course. She's not really an important character in the story, but for the purposes of calling it Beauty and the Beast, I guess you would have to throw a female in there to have some type of, you know, feminine aspect to it, of course, or something like that. What happens during the course of the story, where you have to read, because it doesn't really drag along, but it kind of pulls you into the story to wonder what's going to happen. And then at the end, of course, the inevitable happens that you already knew was going to happen, but it drags you along, and you sort of kind of wish for a happy ending. Like the Joker makes fun of you at the end, saying that you were wishing for a happy ending. You know, what type of story do you think this is? But it's still a good ending. One of the favorite parts, or one of my favorite parts of this book, is this part right here, when the psychiatrist was, go back up, when the psychiatrist was talking to Killer Croc. He just happened to mention something about his mother that set off a trigger alarm on him. So one of the other guys came in and wanted to ask him a question, and then that psychiatrist went ahead and wanted to say something silly, like there's no escape from this cell or the horrors you've committed, not even by suppressing your humanity. I have another thought on that. We're going to get to that in a second. The chains in your guilt are both going to bind you here forever. Now, why did he have to go and say something like that? Then, as you can see, the little note right there is Croc putting his hand in his mouth. And what he does next, I didn't expect him to do. I always wonder why he didn't do this sooner. I don't know. But Croc goes ahead and he chops, or should I say chomps, both of his hands off, and appears to walk out of Arkham. But not before killing that psychiatrist and the other one that came in and talked to him. And the Joker, of course, he gets a whole hee hee ha ha laugh out of it, because as he said in the box up there, he said the guard actually asked me for help, and he finds that hilarious. And then we have the first introduction of Batman, of course, since this is a Killer Croc story. What would a Joker story be without Batman? So then we have that. And then we have Batman on Killer Croc's trail as he goes down into the sewers to try to find out where he went. And this is Batman narrating to himself. We're like, was this planned? Could he have an accomplice? Doubtful. Then what does that leave us? An alternative? Who would pick up a monster off the street? I'm sorry, but the doubtful part wasn't Batman. It was probably Commissioner Gordon. But I went ahead and did that in the Batman voice anyway. I hope it was pretty good. I think my Batman voice is pretty good. But I went ahead and did that in a Batman voice because I thought that was him. Oh yeah, back to the humanity part about Killer Croc. Killer Croc doesn't really say much of anything in this book. He doesn't really say anything until he gets way almost to the end, way into the end where him and Batman have their encounter, and he says something, and it sort of kind of makes sense if you read throughout the whole entire story about what goes on, and then when you get to the end, then those little words that he said, it makes a whole bunch of sense. So I really like this story, as you can probably tell. I like the story, I like the artwork, I like the characters that were in the story, I like how they progressed the story thoroughly. I like how this is another look at Killer Croc, so to speak. It's not just him just going around and just killing people for no reason. He does kill in this book, but it's for a reason, and then you have to go ahead and read the book to figure out why he is doing what he's doing, and then at the end, as all stories go, he ends up back in Arkham. That's not really a spoiler, because you knew that he wasn't going to go around terrorizing for long without Batman eventually coming to the day and capturing Killer Croc and sending him back, of course, to Arkham. But that has been my review of Killer Croc, Joker's Asylum one-shot. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you like this book or you like this review, I suggest that you go ahead and you go to your local comic book store and you pick this book up. It is a good read, and I know you'll like it. I liked it, so I think you'll like it too. So until next time, guys.